If you run a company or manage a team, hiring qualified people quickly can make or break your business. Imagine a position of need going unfilled for weeks or even months because you just can't seem to find the right candidate. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. Indeed sponsored jobs help you stand out and hire fast. With sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates so you can reach the people you want faster. This makes a huge difference. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Plus, there's no monthly subscriptions, no long-term contracts. You only pay for results on your job post. Just in the last minute that I've been talking to you, 23 hires were made on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. Now that is fast. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. Listeners will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/BWN. Go to Indeed.com/BWN right now to support this podcast. Indeed.com/BWN. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome, everybody, to the Sickos Committee podcast. It is Tuesday, February 4th. Happy Tuesday. I am your host for this evening, Pitt Girl. Alongside me, I have Beth and Commissioner Escalante and Arthur on the ones and twos. Beth, how are you?
I'm still in my work clothes, 17 hours into the day.
I like your sweater.
Thank you. It's very warm.
Commish, how are you?
I've had a day. I went to do the kickboxing class, and I've done this 4 times so far. And every time that I've gone in, like, they set the music, to go through like these 9 different stations that I got to go through, these 9 rounds. And every single time there's this Jay-Z Linkin Park encore, like up-tempo remix, along with like Fort Minor. This is like 10% luck, 20% skill, 50% concentrated power of will.
Would you say the face inside is right beneath your skin?
It is. It is crawling beneath my skin. It is 50% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name. So that happens every single time I've gone into this place. And people have asked like who that music was for back in those days, and I was the target for that. 2004 to 2007, yeah, that was me. Living through the George W. Bush administration, dealing with the after effects of Hurricane Katrina. Yeah, was in a little bit of a weird place, and then realizing that and coming back, I was like, oh crap, I got a Zoom meeting today at 1:30. I hopped in the Zoom and I'm like, why is nobody here? And then I look in the Zoom and it says it's for February 11th. I was a week early.
I mean, that's commitment right there.
Were you a week early or is everyone else a week late?
Linear time was a mistake.
To be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late.
I mean, I feel like a football coach. Like if you're late, if you're not in the Zoom meeting a week early.
What's the most embarrassing thing to be a week early to?
Oh my God.
Your funeral?
Your own funeral?
You probably don't have
Yes.
that. You probably don't have that scheduled. I don't think you have that on your schedule. You shouldn't.
Let me check.
I think this is going on right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, there's the 2 weeks for the Super Bowl. There's the NFC Championship game and the AFC Championship game. Then there's a bye week for the Super Bowl. You show up in New Orleans, a week early with your hotel booked and you got your tickets. The only problem is you're a week early.
Oops.
Oops. that would kind of suck, I would think, right? There's got to be other scenarios that are not great with being a week early to something.
Yeah, it doesn't seem optimal.
I feel like
No.
it would be more awkward if you were a week early, but you'd booked your hotel correctly.
Oh
Because like
no.
if you're a week early but your hotel's ready, then like at least you get a weekend in New Orleans. If you're a week early and your hotel is not ready, then like I don't know what you're doing.
You just bought a week of car nap.
You could be like CFB Campus Tour.
Yeah, I was going to say, reach out to CFB Campus Tour for tips on week of car nap.
Week of car nap.
Planet Fitness.
Get a Planet Fitness subscription.
I will say, I feel like the Super Bowl, even if you're a week early, I feel like there's still stuff going on that you can do.
Yeah.
Right? Like they've stretched this media week out the whole way now. There's also, I don't know how much there is for fans as much as it is for like journalists and like content creators and stuff. But
so there's a portion of the media room that's in like the parking garage attached to the Superdome. Then there's like a portion of the media row that's in the gigantic convention center, which is right on the river, along with the NFL fan experience. I will tell you one of my experiences with the NFL fan experience when I lived in New Orleans. Being on like the high school baseball team, they would give you like passes to go through the NFL experience. And so you would go and kick a field goal in the convention center. You'd run your 40. You'd run, like drills where you like hop over stuff and try to juke things. Yeah, the NFL experience that I had personally is I was doing this thing where you're running against like a clock essentially, and there's 2 stoplights that tell you to go left at the stoplight, and then like jump over something and go to the next stoplight. It tells you to go left or right, and then you have to throw at a target at the end to finish your time. Mm-hmm. So I did that. The first target told me to go left. The next one told me to go right. And then the target's back across my body to the left. And I'm throwing across my body because I'm right-handed. I go turn to finish and I run into a giant steel pole.
I feel like that would be bad for your time.
I actually set the...
Oh, no?
Disaster. Yeah, what a bad idea. I set the fastest time of the day.
Oh, no, success!
Worth it!
However, I was bleeding from my left eyebrow, and I had no idea what was going on.
That's just showing that you're about it.
I mean, this is the NFL experience. I have a head injury. It works out.
Commish, were you hurt or were you injured?
I wanted to keep going, but the person it was like, hold on, you're bleeding. You have to stay here. You just hit this pole really hard.
As your attorney, you may be entitled to compensation.
The statute of limitations ran because it was the 96 Super Bowl where Brett Favre beat the Patriots.
See, unfortunately, we didn't know what we do now about head injuries, so I could probably get some type of an injunction.
Okay, wait. Maybe this is what led to my demented mind to create this thing.
The birth of the Sickos Committee.
The birth of the Sickos Committee. Desmond
we are
Howard,
an NFL podcast.
We are. Yeah. So I had to get stitches in like above my left eyebrow. I think I got 8 to 10. I can't remember exactly how many.
That's a
8
lot.
to 10 stitches. And then I had to go back to practice the next day. And like all of the team knew that I ran into a pole. That was nice. And then I was like, hey, coach, I'm not going to be like a week or 2 later. I was like, hey, coach, I got to miss practice. I got to get the stitches removed from running into a pole. Yeah.
The only thing I can think of that I've ever been a week early to, I took the LSAT after college the first time, and I went to Slippery Rock a week early to take the LSAT.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oops.
Alternative universe lawyer Beth is an interesting timeline. No.
I was good at the LSAT, but I really wasn't interested in doing law.
The lawyering part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have enough of those.
It's true. There are many of those. So many that they end up on podcasts sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Ryan.
I don't think I've ever been a week early to any. Like, the only thing I've been a week early to is like turning on my TV and being like, oh, that game isn't until next week. I don't think I've ever gone somewhere a week early.
I've definitely done the thing that Commish did today and looked at the wrong week on my calendar and been like, oh yeah, this Zoom meeting is right now.
I mean, I've done this. I was like, oh crap, recycling is tonight, and I'm like, oh no, that's actually next week. So just my recycling bin sits out all day, and then I'm like, why did nobody else put it out? And I could just totally like check, but I didn't.
Mhm.
That's happened before.
As I said, as I will say many times on this podcast and have said many times on this podcast, linear time was a mistake.
Yeah, you get requested to say the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say the line if you ask me nicely.
Please say the line.
With that, I think we should probably get into the things that we're actually supposed to talk about on this show.
Sure, no
supposed
more
to talk
commission
about
imagery. I guess, yeah.
There are things that we normally talk about.
Oh, okay.
Or that are at least theoretically under the usual purview of this show. One of which being news about football coaches. News coming to us from Alejandro Zuniga. Biff Poggi, most recently head coach at Charlotte, previously associate head coach under Jim Harbaugh at Michigan, is back with the Wolverines in an official capacity, doing what we don't know. But he is officially there.
What do we think the official capacity is? If you were taking bets, what do you think it is?
Bill Belichick lookalike contest?
So this is what I'm trying to figure out. Is he was an associate head coach under Harbaugh from 2021 to 2022. Then he was the head coach at Charlotte for 2 years. Now he's back, and they list him on Wiki as an assistant coach. And so I don't exactly know what the assistant coach does.
So he wasn't he didn't have like a specific assistant, like he wasn't a coordinator, like
No.
he didn't have a position group when he was previously at Michigan. I doubt that they'll give him one now. I think it'll probably just be whatever he was doing last time, right? I mean, I've seen a lot of talk recently about like kind of new job descriptions with not just NIL, but if this house settlement goes through, that would then, what does your management look like if you are paying players directly, right? There's going to be, I mean, like, are you going to have a general manager, right? I've seen recently a number of teams starting to have people that they give the job title general manager to. I have no idea how many of those people are actually like a general manager, like you'd think in, the world of professional sports, and how many people it's just, oh, this is a title we give people in college athletics now. But I mean, honestly, I think you'd have to at least be like covering the team pretty closely or maybe even a part of the team to really know what he's doing, because I mean, it's all kind of inscrutable right now with the way college sports is.
Yeah, it showed last time he was like an off-field analyst, so I don't know what he's going to be doing. But Biff is back in
I like
Ann
to
Arbor.
imagine he's just going to be running into various player huddles screaming vibe check and then going to the next huddle.
I like imagining him like up in the coach box where they keep the offensive coordinator sometimes, but still in his hoodie with the like no sleeves and ripped neck and just wearing all the Biff clothes.
Yes. So if he's in the box, do you want to call that the Biff box? It's my Biff in a box.
Yet another thing I will not be Googling.
No, it just says like he gets a familiar title. Biff's been a great mentor and has been that for me. So are you just paying for like a mentor? I mean, I don't know.
There are worse things to spend unknown quantity of money on.
Michigan's got money. They're fine. They can handle this, And then there's no limit on coaches now, right? You don't have any coaching limit. So like you can just hire anybody you want to come be your off the field analyst or mentor.
Yeah, I mean, there's the whole reason for off field analysts was that it wasn't regulated by the NCAA, right? Like the NCAA had like you get X coaches, and that's the max. Not just in football, but in other sports as well. Yeah. But like this analyst role was not something, and there were rules where they couldn't I don't remember the exact rules. There was certain like instruction that they were not allowed to provide to players.
Yeah, there was
That
you couldn't coach them, and people got busted on this for a while.
I
and then
know.
we-
I know.
Oh,
Pitt
yeah.
basketball got busted under
Yeah.
Kevin Stallings of all people. Just
Yes, because the analysts
too
were
much coaching.
so helpful.
Yep, that team had too much coaching.
Mhm.
But
It needed
were
less
overcoached.
wisdom.
yeah, I don't know. I can't be mad about basketball right now because my Portland Trailblazers have won 8 of their last 9 as of now. They're currently playing a game while we record this, which is very distracting. But the things I have to put up with to have the hottest team in the NBA as my favorite team.
Arthur, I will take you saying this as evidence that you did not watch Pitt men's basketball last night.
Oh no, there was a Blazers game. They beat the Suns in overtime.
That was a good choice. As someone who also did not watch the Pitt men's basketball game last night, but saw enough updates on Blue Sky to be like, "Oh God, no! Why?" Listener, we got Virginia'd, and Virginia isn't even good. The score was 30-10 at one point. I hate it here.
I will say I did not watch the game at all, but I did put in a request to attend the taping of the Jeff Capel radio show this week. So we'll find out if that gets the okay. Yeah.
Tell Jeff we said hi. Speaking of other things that make me hate it here, Penn State is this year's winner of the Lambert Trophy. For immediate release, courtesy of our friends at the Lambert Trophy, quote, "We are, congratulations to Coach James Franklin and the 2024 Penn State Nittany Lions, reaching the college football playoff, winning a home playoff game for the first time in Nittany Lion history, and then going on to win the Fiesta Bowl are just some of the highlights for this Penn State team. Notably, they went into enemy territory in Lambert Trophy competition, beating West Virginia in Morgantown before embarking on a challenging conference slate. The Lambert Trophy is returning to State College. Congratulations."
God damn it.
So I'm going to be upfront here. I'm going to say this. According to the criteria they had listed, unfortunately, Penn State met the criteria.
I know.
I know.
I still hate it.
Look, man. Army.
There's an argument maybe to protest vote for Army. But yes.
It was Army. If you'd have beat Navy, I think you would have had this. If Army would have beat Navy, I think they would have had this. And I feel like that's what it came down to. We still love you, Army.
We do.
12-2 first conference championship. Also, you won the ACC on a hat, apparently, too. So, I don't...
Listeners, if any of you find any more of those hats,
yes,
we have a P.O. box, and I would love
email
for
us.
You to
I'll
send it
to us. Yes,
to the P.O. box so Commish can forward it to me.
Totally. I will definitely... I want to...
There has to be more one of those hats out there.
I want more. I want more of those. Like, there was some in Charlotte. I'm like, can I send you money for this? Please send me this hat. And we posted it at a couple of different spots, and then, it caught like wildfire, which is fun. I guess people are just desperate for things in the off season, which is fun. But
LSUfootball.net is empty right now, which is a very sad time.
It is a sad time. It's okay. We got plenty, so don't worry about it. Off season. Oh, we got some off season topic coming up in this podcast.
I was promised a normal show.
Oh, mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
I don't think we do those.
I think it's normal for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll work.
Okay. In other news, Alabama's Kalen DeBoer has brought key assistant from Washington to be new OC. Ryan Grubb returns to the college ranks after spending a season calling the Seahawks offense. What did the Seahawks offense even look like? I don't watch the NFL.
I don't know, but he got fired.
Oh, good.
So bad. One presumes.
I don't know if it was working out, like, because the Seahawks had a new coach. I don't even know what the Seahawks finished. They missed the playoffs. I know that. Let's see. Where they finish this year? I don't know. It feels like 9-8 or whatever.
10-7.
Okay, so they missed the playoffs at 10-7.
Yep.
So that
They ended up tied in the NFC West with the Rams.
Okay, and they lost the tiebreaker.
And they lost the tiebreaker.
Okay, I mean, okay. Oh, they were 3-6 at home. It's not good for the Seahawks. I don't know if the stats were bad, but he got fired. So he had 1 year with a new head coach, and then he got fired. My favorite thing about this is that Brian Grubb already did a press conference for Alabama, being the Alabama OC, and he was in Tuscaloosa speaking. Then he got the Seahawks offensive coordinator job. Now he's going back to Tuscaloosa. So it's
racking up those flyer miles, I guess.
I think that's the funny part for me here, because like he already had the job, and then he went to the NFL. Like he was there, and then like a day later, like he was given a speech, and I think we had something with like this one guy in the polo shirt wasn't buying it. Let me see if I can find that. Like he was just like, I'm not buying this. And then like 2 days later, he was at the Seahawks, so that guy knew. It was hilarious, and now he's back, which I think this is right. Should be fun.
So maybe this will be the thing that solves all of Alabama's problems this year.
I think the offense will be a little bit different. They're going to have a new quarterback. We'll see. I'm sure Alabama will be fine, right?
Right. Everything is fine in Tuscaloosa.
Everything's great in Tuscaloosa at this point, right?
Did they play Vanderbilt again this year?
I don't know. I don't think they've
2025 Alabama football schedule. Sickos Committee Googles things.
It doesn't look like it.
Oh, that's disappointing. Alabama scared.
Golden Flake a Day game. Golden Flake a Day game?
Golden Flake A-Day game. Golden Flake is a Alabama potato chip brand that I can only assume is not good.
I just like reading it as Golden Flake a Day. Every day you must have one Golden Flake.
One chip.
So this is a chip company based out of Birmingham, Alabama. I really enjoy these chips. It's kind of like a Southern staple. It's different than what you would get there, but it's not like your Lay's, Frito-Lay stuff. They got some good flavors. I really enjoy them, honestly. They make a good pork rind also.
Can you place them on like the Pennsylvania chip continuum, or have we not had enough Pennsylvania chips yet?
Yeah, I should say it's nothing against Golden Flake. I'm just inherently skeptical of chips that are not from Pennsylvania.
Oh, I mean, I understand that. I'm not necessarily well versed in Pennsylvania chips. Like, I know a few of them.
We will do a better job.
I mean, if you want to ship me some Pennsylvania chips, I would take some chips. I'm not. You want to send me some Utz? I've had Utz, but like not many. The Utz crab chip, which I get that from my sister every now and then. I love those. The crab chips, they're delicious. I don't have sheets here, so I don't have the opportunity to just go stare at sheets at the wall of chips and pick the weirdest flavors. But in New Orleans, basically, Golden Flake was kind of that. So
okay.
Alabama does play Vanderbilt again next year.
Oh, they do?
Saturday per FBschedules.com.
Oh, there it is. My eyes skipped right on over it.
Saturday, October 4th, time TBA.
Yeah, I believe the SEC, to set their schedule for this season, it's just the reverse of last season. So all of the home games from last season are road games. All of the road games from last season are home games. So I guess Kirby Smart will probably be pretty pleased about that, right? Because he's complaining about his road games this year that the SEC made him play. So now all those games will be at home. The home games will be on the road. But
Pitt Girl, check out that opener.
Listener, Saturday, August 30th, mark your calendars now for Alabama at Florida State. We are going to learn a lot opening week next year.
Commish's face.
Florida State has the opportunity to do the funniest thing of all time.
It's at Florida State? It's not like a neutral site?
Oh,
game?
it's at
Florida
in
State.
Tallahassee. Let's go. I wonder if it's a home and home.
Maybe.
It probably is.
I remember Bama's were like, they're going to stop doing those neutral site kickoff games. And
well,
I'm like,
it's not a neutral site kickoff game, so
but LSU is deciding to do those, and LSU opens with Clemson.
where?
I hope you like purple.
I mean, that'll be Brian Kelly's face again, because LSU does not open the season well in these games. Ever. Especially under Brian Kelly.
Like, I hope you like Tiger Rag.
Commish, I'm pleased to inform you that after Alabama, Florida State, Alabama welcomes ULM.
Okay. They'll be all high and mighty, and we'll take them down. Yikes.
That's
Okay.
probably great news for Florida State, because there's a chance that Alabama will overlook them trying to prep for ULM.
It's true.
True. That's,
ULM did have significantly more wins last season.
They did. Yeah, they did.
Beware
Hopefully,
of September and October ULM.
I would love that if that became a thing.
Louisiana's Maryland.
I mean, University of Louisiana, Maryland. ULM. Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah. September ULM.
I feel like the way that a turtle would be paraded around would be a little bit different than the way they used to put a huge turtle in the back of a pickup truck and drive it around Bird Stadium when I was a kid.
Turtle airboat.
It's probably turtle soup, but
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Turtle on airboat.
Turtle on an airboat.
Turtle soup on an airboat.
I mean, ULM could have the turtle like do the water ski jumps right outside the stadium.
Oh, there you go.
On the bayou, yeah. Just seeing a turtle, like, we need to get Ace the Warhawk doing stuff off the water ski jump. That'll work.
What a vibe.
Yeah.
Also, wet mascot. Exactly what everyone wants.
Wet bayou mascot.
If you land, you don't wet. You don't fall. You're pretty dry, right?
I have never gone water skiing.
I was given to understand that there aren't a lot of things in Louisiana generally that are dry.
It's true.
Yeah, that's true. We have a saying in New Orleans: "What is damp may never dry." But yeah,
I feel like you have to, because like, what happens when you're water skiing once like you don't have the velocity you need to maintain the tension? I feel like you sink.
Oh, you just do the sad thing.
You just like kind of do like, and that's happened to me before. I've done water skiing.
It happened to ULM this year.
That's true. It's basically what happened is like, I lost the handle. And so I was getting up to speed and I wasn't ready, or I lost my grip, and then I did the hard part is like getting up on like to stand. Once you stand, you're okay. For the most part.
Never could manage the standing part. Good at getting dragged through the water though.
Yeah. Yeah. I've stuck to tubing after a couple of attempts water skiing. I was just like, no, I'd rather hang off the tube and have the crazy boat driver try to flip me off, which is a lot of fun. Flip me off of the tube. It's the fun part.
You did not actually tube if you did not get yeeted.
Oh yeah.
The yeeting is an important part of the tubing process.
True.
In other college football news, college football schedule news of a sort, even.
Oh.
Nebraska likely to cancel spring game over transfer concerns. And we have a picture of Matt Rhule, who continues to look aggressively Philadelphian, even when wearing Nebraska gear and standing in front of a Nebraska backdrop.
Is that a tactical Nebraska vest?
It appears to be a tactical Nebraska vest, yes.
So the concerns in this case are that he effectively is worried about having all the world see what he thinks of as an open practice and then just grab his players like they're going to Costco.
Bro, you are planning on having an interesting spring game?
So what he claims in this press conference, he said this. He said, after we had our spring practice last year, he like players that they watched on the TV spring game, they were fielding a lot of calls from other teams trying to get them to go into the transfer portal, which is essentially at the end of the year, like to switch, like at the end of the calendar year, to transfer in the middle of the summer, so to speak. So in his mind, he's like, well, I don't want to have a practice like going to cancel the spring practice, so none of his players,
Right.
get scouted.
But here's the problem with that. And specifically, here are the 60,452 problems with that, which is the number of people who went to the Nebraska spring game last year, the fourth highest attended spring game in FBS. That's a lot of tickets to not want.
That's a lot of like business to not want, even
Yeah.
if the spring game is free. Like,
I feel like every college football coach out there would like to not do the spring game.
Or have the
Like-
media attend their practices or anything else. You
Yes.
don't want to get waked.
Yeah, no, I think every coach honestly would probably like it if people couldn't like actually watch any of the games, because they like might learn something. You know,
Mhm.
like, oh, our opponent next week might watch, right? Like, I bet there were coaches who, like back in the day when the NCAA used to do TV bans, were just like, that they're not going to get anything on us now.
yeah, no film if there's no TV.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to be having all of our games in the National Radio Quiet Zone. Fuck all y'all.
I like that.
I also like the implication that there are like teams out there committing money to NIL deals, presumably, because that's why you would get someone in the portal,
Mhm.
who are doing that based on spring games. Like, not
Mhm.
like, oh, I'm going to go watch tape from players in the past season. Not,
No,
I'm looking
look
at
how look how
recruiting
awesome
rankings and depth charts. Like, nope. I'm just going to use this exhibition game to do my scouting.
he ran the Statue of Liberty play that was Timmy's Make-A-Wish really, really, really well, and I think I want him on our team.
So, like, you've been talking about this. I have been searching for the vest.
Mhm.
I found it. It's like an Adidas branded Terex.
Mhm.
Terex vest, like a tactical, like sleeveless vest with.
Does it have a hood?
Hooded sleeveless vest.
Yes.
Yes.
It looks hooded.
The hood is part of what, I mean, beyond Matt Rhule's general vibe of Philadelphia-ness,
Mhm.
the hood is part of what is very like Philly about this aesthetic to me.
Mhm.
Like, Matt Rhule is 100% just going to end up saying "Go Birds" at the end of a press conference at some point this week, if he hasn't done so already.
Is he from Philly?
He is not. He's originally from New York, but he went to Penn State, and like, look at him. Look at him. This is a Philadelphian.
Go Birds.
He played linebacker for Penn State. Okay.
The
I didn't even know
combination
that.
of like the long, I can't tell if that's a long sleeve tee or like a looser long sleeve tee or a sweatshirt with tactical vest has me just very confused about what biome you are dressing for.
I don't get vests. Like I don't think I own a vest. It's like, yeah, I understand you want to keep your chest, but I need my arms warm too. Like
I am a vest enjoyer, but the layer under the vest is also very important. I think I have 3 or 4 zippy vests.
I just think, again, living where I live, there's I don't have to have like a vest option. It's like, whatever, I'll just throw on a jacket.
Yeah, you're also not a finance guy.
No, I don't. I'm not finance.
Do you think you're going to have a moment in your life when you toggle the switch the whole way to sweater vest?
I look, I don't even own a quarter zip at this time.
I was just about to ask if you owned a quarter zip. I own several.
I had like some in the past, but like I grew out of that.
I feel like our podcast needs someone to be sweater vest guy.
We know who the sweater vest guy is.
Well, yes, that's definitely not me because, last time I saw Jordan in person, he was wearing a sweater, essentially a North Face one.
So,
Yes.
Okay,
so
that's
sweater
North
vest guy
Face.
Jordan is not available tonight, but
Okay.
we know.
I feel like this has happened because I work at home now and I just wear nothing but t-shirts, like all the time. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. Work from home has definitely changed my entire wardrobe.
Yeah.
It's been so long since I was in an office that I'm like, if I had to, if my company makes me return to office, I'm gonna have to go clothing shopping because I don't have anything. I can't just be. Right now, I can wear joggers 24/7, and I feel like I couldn't get away with that in person.
My actual job committed to casual Friday all the time, starting with the pandemic. And so I roll in jeans and a employer name redacted branded shirt most of the time. It's a vibe.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wear a jacket. No, I'm not. I'm not invested as you are, so it's fine.
All right. With that, we do also have the Big 12 schedule reveal.
Yes.
That is out, courtesy of our friend DFW Toothroad on Reddit on r/CFB. This season is the first season without a butt bowl since the Eisenhower administration. That's very sad.
It is very sad.
Whatever shall we do without the butt bowl?
We're going into 2025 without a butt.
I mean, we're going into 2025 with copious amounts of butt.
Well,
But-
I mean, not an
enjoyable
No,
butt.
not the
not
enjoyable butt.
not a butt that like is fun to behold in any way, shape, or form.
I'm gonna
alas.
be upset. I mean, it's just
Now,
No.
this would have been tub year, right?
it would have been tub, I think, because last year was
To-
butt year.
To tub.
But butt year is when they play in Lubbock, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think they were in Lubbock this year.
Yes, I think. Oh my God, no, Arthur.
Arthur, can you get a little closer to the camera, please?
Oh my
I just
God.
want to see what the little name tag does. Does the name tag say your name? What does it say?
No, it says Columbia.
Oh, it's a Columbia.
Okay, it's a Columbia thing. It looks a little bit. So, listener, Arthur
I
is
go get
wearing a
mine.
vest.
It's like right over there.
It is a teal vest, but it has a little tag. It's a Columbia tag, but it looks from a distance and very small, kind of like those like mechanic shirts that Eastern Michigan had, where it has your name on it. It's a vibe.
I think Arthur also has slightly popped his collar.
Yes.
I feel like more professions should have clothing like mechanic shirts with your name on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like, imagine if that was a thing for formal wear.
Nice.
Like, you just like have like on like the lapel of your suit or wherever, you just have a little name tag. Like, it's fancy though,
Mhm.
because it's like formal wear. So,
So it
it's
says,
What if
"My
you-
name is Butch," but in cursive.
Oh
Yeah,
the
yeah, it's like
monogram Butch.
A little bit more like a bowling shirt.
Yes. Monogrammed cursive pocket square for
That's
your
where I was going.
Ooh, there you
That
go.
was nice. That was good.
My
Definitely.
cufflinks say Butch.
innovations in menswear. That's what you come to the Sickos Committee for.
Totally. No, I hate this schedule. Like TCU did a fun schedule reveal, which I linked in here, and it's basically our schedule as drinks. There's they're making, it's like it's a 5-minute video schedule review as drinks, and then so they're doing black coffee. That's terrible coffee. As North Carolina, as for Bill Belichick. And I'm like, okay. He's like, he never had a cup of coffee in his life. Somebody says water. It's Arizona State. They don't have enough water out there. It was a bye
Okay.
week, though, right?
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the West Virginia schedule review video where they had Rich Rod had his 2 Pomeranians fetch little stuffed animals from all over the athletic department for everything to show each one.
Yeah.
That is cute. Rich Rod does not strike me as a Pomeranian guy.
Yes, Roxy and Rainbow.
Wait, Rich Rod has Pomeranians? What?
Yeah. Hang on, I'll post it.
I need a picture of this.
Pomeranians might be like the least football coach dog.
There
Can you
go.
think of a less football coach dog?
I don't know like actual breeds. I know like names of dogs.
Okay.
Like as
Okay.
in like that's a name you'd give a dog, not like a
Ah,
type
okay.
of dog.
So, Detroit Lions head coach Dan Campbell has a teacup Yorkie named Louise.
Nice.
So
Oh my god, this picture.
yes. So I don't know. Maybe they're like a tiny dog. It's more manly. I have no
Yeah.
idea.
So like they fetch like a little colonial guy for Robert Morris, and then like a little fluffy bobcat. Then they find a poop emoji.
I guess we deserve that.
So that part did make me laugh.
I think I would rather have a $13.09 pepperoni
Yeah,
roll.
it was let's put it this way. It is an unusually charming video from Rich Rod.
The dogs are very cute. I just fast forwarded through it just so I could like see, and I saw them like pick up the Jayhawk. It is genuinely very charming. Score one for Rich Rod.
You don't usually think of Rich Rod as cute guy.
He's changed, baby. He's changed.
He's mellowed out.
Take me back, West Virginia. I'm a different coach now.
Oh my God.
I promise.
Why?
I promise.
Why?
We're gonna rectify all the things that I've done.
You're so fucking dumb.
I feel like Rich Rod is now in the Boys to Men video.
Baby, come back.
baby, I'm sorry for all the things I've done. Please come back to me, girl. Although we've come to the end of the road. Okay. Baby, I'm sorry.
Oh my God. So, can anybody explain to me the Sun Wars?
Yeah, I would love some additional context for this too.
So TCU starts this thing here. And they tweet, TCU again, trendsetters on social media. They put the tweet, "It's always sunny in Fort Worth," as in Sonny Dykes. So it's always sunny in Fort Worth. 229 days of sunshine per year. So it's an innocent tweet. It gets like 100 likes, like nothing too crazy. Then Arizona State decides to quote tweet here. Arizona State jumps in. I'm like, okay, Arizona State. You know, like what's going on here? So they chime in. They're like, we got that beat. And averages more than 310 days of sunshine per year. Well, Arizona's not going to take that lying down because they come over the top with 350 days of sunshine per year so they could dunk on their rival, Arizona State. So I feel like TCU was just trying to be like innocent and make a really bad pun on "It's always sunny in TCU."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then Arizona State is like, hey, let's, it's the off season. Let's do something silly. And then Arizona, the Wildcats are like, hey, we're gonna dunk on our rivals because we have I'm kind of like 350 days of sunshine period. That's too much, man. I need some clouds.
There's too many.
Arizona is this very, very sunny place.
That's like you barely get 2 weeks of like cloud cover a year.
Chaos sibling is a blonde, and when she came back after spending 4 years at NAU, she was unbelievably blonde. Like, it had bleached her hair way the heck out. And we live in a part of PA that does not really get sun.
Especially not this time of year.
Yeah, like it's we have a similar cloudy day ratio to like Seattle. Like it's a cloudy ass place. And it was just very, very bizarre to see her come back, and I'm like, did you dye your hair? And she's like, nah, man, the sun. And I'm like,
and that's Flagstaff.
Yeah.
Like that's northern Arizona in the mountains. Like just imagine if you were down in Tucson or in Tempe.
I mean, I would turn into a briquette and die. But
Same. Extremely same.
I'd
look like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. It would not be great.
There was a part in my life that I was like really, really, really leaning into the Italian side of my family. I was very tan. Yeah, I spent a lot of my time in high school outside playing baseball, working outside. I was
just roll around in a kiddie pool of extra virgin olive oil and then lay in the sun.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I'm dying because one of my friends would do that and he still could not get as dark as me. So it was ridiculous. And then he got pulled over by cops and is like, what are you doing with this big, like, 1.5 liter thingy of olive oil? He's like, what, you are trying to take my olive oil? Such a stupid interaction with a police officer. I can't forget.
That's an expensive can.
It is. And then the mosquitoes were just eating the shit out of them too. It was ridiculous, man.
Why are the police questioning you about your olive oil? What are you going to do with it? Start an Italian restaurant?
Well, it was after they asked him about the gigantic bag of oregano because they thought it was weed.
Mm. No, officer, this really is oregano.
I promise you, I was about to go. I was gonna make some ravioli. Just so ridiculous, man. Just one of those high school stories that stick with you forever.
So the
You got to keep his olive
competition.
oil, by the way.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Good.
true.
That's an investment.
It
1.5
is.
liters of olive oil is a lot
That
of
shit's
olive oil.
expensive. That's like $40-something now, I think.
Googling how much does olive oil cost?
It depends on the type of olive oil. That's going to be
This is
like
true.
light olive oil is a totally different beast.
Gotta know your oils.
Yeah, if it's just like normal olive oil, yeah, it was a big one too. So it wasn't like a small bottle. It was like
the Sam's Club boy.
It looked like the Rossi wine thing.
Yeah, I have
just
one
like
downstairs.
the big giant olive oil that you get from Sam's and Costco.
Oh, you can get like a keg of olive oil.
Yeah, that's possible too.
7.5 pounds of olive oil. Ooh. So many oils. Anyway, the counting day off got a little bit spicier after this. I would like to highlight Washington's because I think Pitt should have done this.
So this is not officially done by Washington.
Oh,
we got tagged into it.
Okay,
we got tagged into this, and that's how I discovered this war, because I was working with these memes, and I was like, "What is going on here?" I was working hard yesterday, and I was like, we got tagged into the Washington one, where at Hunter Schuler says, "Is this a new meme format at Sickos Committee at UW Athletics and UW football?" What does it say, Pitt Girl?
It says averages more than 307 days of clouds per year. And I will remind you that Pittsburgh has more rainy days a year than Seattle does.
Ooh, rain fight.
So I'm gonna be honest. Like I've said it before. It annoys me when teams jump into this like any sort of trend. Right? We saw it with like the beer prices one last time, where it's like it starts about one thing, but then people just start throwing up things just to be like, hey, this is also cool. But it's like, okay, that wasn't what we were talking about, right? Like if you were having a conversation with, like, let's say the four of us are having a conversation and you're talking about I don't like how many inches of rain you get a year, let's say. I don't know why I picked that, but it's like that's like a very discrete thing. And then if I just suddenly come in and say like, well, the weather, it's not even about the weather anymore, right? Like I'll come in and just say like, yeah, well, we have a bus right here. And I'm like, okay, like what does that have to do with anything,
The Kool-Aid man has burst through the wall to tell you about this bus.
It annoys me because it's not like a meme that you would make unless you were specifically trying to promote a certain thing. And that just kind of like annoys me with memes, right? When it's like this format does not work with your thing, just sit this one out. I don't know. The one school, I don't know. Did Temple do one? Because like I don't know how much the university would want to claim a certain TV show, but I feel like that would be one that you could have some fun with and joke around without annoying me. But just throwing up something, just being like, oh yeah, well we have I don't know, 52 days or 52 weeks a year and some, I don't know, like just some random stuff that's not relevant. Like I don't like that.
In other random things that are not relevant that were posted as part of this that I enjoyed, the Temple posted a very nice Tulane posted a very nice graphic complete with flying Mardi Gras beads that says averages more than 130 parades and festivals per year. I think that one's pretty good. And the KB Dome is right. It is 365 days a year of sunshine inside.
It's very true. The Kibidome just called them bums.
Good job.
In the words of John Green, the weather is always awesome inside.
Central Arkansas just posted one like 30 minutes ago, and it just says more than 35 roundabouts in Conway, Arkansas. God damn, that's a lot of roundabouts in
What
Conway.
is Conway, Arkansas doing with so many
I
roundabouts?
don't know, man.
I mean,
Someone
it's,
outlawed
it's,
intersections.
It's central Arkansas. When you're in the center, you got a lot of things
No,
going around, and you
There's
want
a lot of yielding.
Yeah.
Nobody knows how to yield in Conway, Arkansas either, I bet.
I feel like you'll just go to places that have a ton of roundabouts for like Carmel, Indiana is like the most notorious one. But I feel like there have to be Carmel, Indianas in other places, right? Like Carmel, Indiana's can't be that unique.
The entire state of Massachusetts is Carmel, Indiana on this front.
New Jersey is too. They're everywhere in New Jersey.
I know New Jersey has those left turns where you got to go right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't go left in New Jersey.
Yeah, not as complicated as the Michigan left turns, but they're up there.
Turn right to go left.
Mm-hmm.
I used to, like, this goes back to my job in the past, being an auto adjuster handling claims in Massachusetts. Massachusetts had a ton of roundabouts.
Mm-hmm.
And,
they call them rotaries there.
Yeah, traffic circles, whatever you want to call them. But oh my God, man. Like, and nobody knew how to do it, especially like the double lane ones.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like you're doing double Dutch, like enter intersection jump rope. Like
they put one of those in the main intersection to take you to WVU games.
Oh no!
Oh yeah!
No!
And it's a really tight one, and it's 2 lanes. And let me tell you, apparently the only way to drive a roundabout, because what do I know? I only lived off of one for a couple of years, is you want to stop right before the roundabout. And then the second you're in the roundabout, you should stop again.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to make sure that you get a nice, even traffic flow. That's what I've learned.
Yeah, yield 100% means stop.
Yes.
Especially in roundabouts.
Absolutely. And stopping just once is not enough times. You should stop at least twice, a third time if you can manage it.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ, man. That's a lot of... God damn, man. I look, man, I hate dealing with roundabouts, like, and rotaries or whatever. They were like the worst claims to deal with because everybody was like, no, I had the right of way. I'm like, no, you didn't. But I was here. I was like, no. It just... but you can't just say, no, you're wrong. You have to, like, talk to people. Like, you see... and, like, quote rules of the road. And I'm like, I don't... And then they wouldn't understand what you're saying because it's like a legal thing. And you're like, just no. It was not your turn.
Commish, I told you I had my bumpers modified so they were made of solid gold. Why is that not covered?
I don't... Well, the customer... I'm sorry. I'm actually going to sign a...
You said I had to put bumpers on my Prowler. You said...
I took all the platinum, the catalytic converter test. I made the whole car out of platinum.
Speaking of gold God. And platinum and all that shiny stuff, if you, gentle listener, would like us to be able to afford to swap the bumpers of our car out with gold, you can.
Solid gold.
Solid gold
carats.
Bumpers here at the Sickos Committee. You can support our podcast business. We are, I will announce again, we are moving the written content that we produce that is longer than a Blue Sky post from Substack to Behave. It has better tool. Jesus.
I heard it on the recording today, and I died laughing because I remember the face that Arthur made.
He made the face again.
He did.
So when I was listening to it today to cut clips, all I could think of was like the Austin Powers, like "Oh, behave," but like pronounced terribly.
Yes.
So anyway, we are moving from Substack to Behave. Better tools and more customization for us. It'll be the same for you. Just make sure you check your junk if you don't see anything from us because, new email sender. But all the same great content. Nothing is changing except that we get more fonts and stuff. And also Beehive is better on the business end, but like, I won't bore you with all the business nerd stuff. Check out our link tree. We got links in our Twitter and Instagram and Blue Sky profiles for various discounts. If you like coffee or tea or whatever, there are discounts in there. If you want to help us, as I said, have gold-plated bumpers or solid gold bumpers even, you can give us $5 a month to join our Discord. or our Patreon or our Patreon. It's the same thing actually. And hang out with us in the Discord and vote on things and help us do research if you want.
Yeah.
There's paywalled. Occasionally we have a paywalled Substack post, but really the actual paywall stuff is podcasts. So we have a whole great catalog of paywalled podcasts that you can listen to.
Yeah.
Commish did a six-part series on
Dude,
Prairie
there's
View.
seven.
Seven-part
Seven-part series
series
on
on Prairie View
View,
A&M.
and their 80-game losing streak, with a tremendous amount of indictments and everything like that. Also, if you listen to the pod behind the Patreon, we did put all of the coach interviews that Jordan and I did at the Bear Bryant Awards behind there. So the full interviews we had, I think it totaled about an hour and 20 some odd minutes of full interviews. We were going to release some more clips, but eventually we will release some more down the line, but just unable to do so at the moment. Otherwise, yeah, I think I'm going to be doing like another one of those series.
Cool.
And see if I can get somebody to join in with me to do one, because I wanted to explore the Northwestern losing streak and also the Columbia losing streak, which those were not as long. So the series should not be 7 parts.
Hopefully also fewer indictments.
Hopefully fewer indictments and just losing on the
I'm
football
hoping
field.
for more indictments.
I don't know, man. Prairie View. That first episode, which I think I'm gonna make that first episode free on the Patreon. So if you're a free member on the Patreon, you may be. I may unlock a few of those episodes, just to give you a little taste of what's behind the paywall.
Yeah.
Oh,
so we got all that stuff there. We have our merch store. We've got over 50 items in the store. New things include "Oh no, disaster! What a bad idea!" mugs. The mug for our time.
I love that mug so much.
It looks so good, Beth.
I have one and I adore it. Everyone should have this mug.
she got the big mug, the 15 ouncer.
Yeah, for large disasters, of which there are many,
and bad ideas.
Yes, so check out our merch store for good mugs. We have a YouTube, we have an Instagram, we have a Twitch. We are counter programming the Superb Owl on Sunday, so check out the Twitch during the Superb Owl if you are interested in not watching that, because we'll be doing something over there. As always, shout out to our friends at Message Board Geniuses. They go the places where we dare not go. And last but certainly not least, shout out to our friends at Home Field Apparel. Click our link. You can click the link and it helps us, even if you have already ordered from Home Field before. But if you haven't ordered from Home Field yet, somehow, welcome new listener, because I can't imagine that longtime listeners haven't ordered from Home Field yet. If you haven't, you can also use code YES HA 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 3 HAs. Yes, ha ha ha, yes, with 3 HAs for 15% off your first order.
Nice. LaSalle and I forgot who else is coming soon.
Oh, we got new things coming. We'd love to hear it.
LaSalle and I can't remember who it was. There was another one. LaSalle and Drexel St. Joe's.
Oh, they're doing the Big Five.
The Big
They're
Five.
getting us to the Big Five.
And then
just a shirt with a palestra on it, please.
The
Also,
LaSalle Explorer one. It looks like he's a space explorer, and that is awesome.
Citronaut, they're coming for you.
That's right. And new collections for Creighton and Marquette.
Ooh.
Yeah.
If you're doing the Big Five, can we get an update to the Temple collection, please?
Sorry.
That would be cool.
I'll email them.
Release Teal. Both of us will buy things.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'll buy a shirt.
We know someone else who would buy a teal shirt. That's 3.
That's 3.
It's
3 shirts.
I mean, I'm just waiting for them to get ULM, and so I could buy like a 29 time champion water skiing shirt with somebody jumping off of water skiing ramp. I mean,
you should make a graphic that says 29-time water ski champion, but with like all the little tick marks, like all of the sun memes. If we're just going to distract the conversation, we may as well put it in a pro ULM direction.
Yeah, I'll DM ULM now.
Sliding into ULM's DMs.
I mean, they
follow us. That we do.
They follow us,
I know. In other news, I am pleased to inform you, I think, that the NFL has solved racism.
Yeah, I saw that. Congratulations
Yeah.
to the NFL.
Yeah, congratulations to the NFL.
Well, so we don't know if they've ended. They may have ended racism. They may not have, but they are ending end racism.
Yes, NFL to remove end racism messaging in end zone ahead of Super Bowl. The only reason I can think of for doing that is that you have in fact solved racism. So good job, NFL.
The only other reason I can come up with is you've decided to start racism again, which surely no one would.
I can't even like, it's just like, whatever.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, hey, we're all gonna see that one cornerback in the Super Bowl. So
Yeah, Iowa. Woo.
Okay.
I'm definitely not blanking on his name right now.
It's Cooper. It's Cooper DeJean.
Yes, Cooper DeJean. That's who it is.
There you go. There you go. Totally.
I mean, I can just say, like, hey, the one
The
quarterback.
one guy.
The
He's
one
guy.
quarterback.
The one. Quarterback.
Yeah. So for the back half of the show, we have a segment. We have a nameless segment.
Yes, it's nameless.
That will probably never be replicated.
No.
Because this is very much a one-time thing.
Yes.
We touched on this one-time thing during the Sunday show.
Mm-hmm.
And Commish got us off the rails and then back on the rails of the train that we were talking about at the time. And now we are going off the rails again because chariots do not have rails.
No, they don't.
Commish, please take it away.
So, as I discussed previously, last time
on the Sickos Committee podcast.
Ooh, I like that. Previously on the Sickos Committee podcast, I talked about the second ever Rose Bowl, which at the time it was known as the East-West game and later became the Rose Bowl. The first Rose Bowl was in 1902, and that was between Fielding Yost's Michigan versus the former team that he coached, Stanford. And Michigan beat Stanford so badly, the concept of staging an intersectional football game after the parade was abandoned for the next 14 years.
Hey guys, maybe we should just have a parade.
Stanford got their ass beat so bad, they're like, no more football for 14 years. So I have the story of that 14-year gap.
Stanford really saw their shadow.
They the Tournament of Roses was like, nah, this is not good. Like, the other team got shut out 49-0. Then when it came back, Wazoo beat Brown, as we discussed last podcast, 14-0. So, in the first two Rose Bowls, the losing team didn't score any points.
How bad do you think a Rose Bowl would have to be, like, just from a game quality standpoint, for them to just be like, yeah, we had a good run?
Like now?
Yeah.
Like now?
223-0.
Yeah, it's got to exceed the Cumberland, like Georgia Tech game, I think.
78 punts.
Oh, the dream.
The dream. Look at all these punts rain over the sunset. Ooh.
I have a hankering to read a box score again.
Oh God, no, not again. I love everybody tags us in that, like down the line. I'm like, yes, we did a full podcast.
Yeah,
on this,
we did.
And we went insane. Reading
Somebody
this.
asked me, they're like, have you ever heard of that game? I'm like, I read the box score out loud. It's on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even behind the paywall anymore. You can just go listen to it.
Listen to it. You want to hear me lose my mind at 3:00 in the morning? Go for it.
Both of us, we're done. I think third quarter, I wanted to tap out. I was like, there's still so many more punts to go. It was
punts.
It was a lot of punts.
Punts.
All right.
Punts.
Now, back to the time frame that the Rose Bowl, the Tournament of Roses parade, folks. We're just like, they're like, screw this, no more football. I'm done with football. We did 1 year thing of football, whatever. So this is from Matt Brown, not the Extra Points Matt Brown, the one that works for The Athletic. Instead, the Tournament of Roses parade was followed by chariot and animal races, among other curiosities, before football returned in 1916.
More highbrow entertainment.
Yes. So the Tournament of Roses in Pasadena on that day, I understand, takes almost everybody from Los Angeles out there, so I think Christmas would be a good day here. Fielding Yost said. Then, I want the game for the Cal 11 for San Francisco on New Year's Day. like Yost is trying to get the Rose Bowl to not be on New Year's Day already in 1902. And the Rose Bowl said, no, we are playing on New Year's Day. So this is from the very beginning of this. Like Fielding Yost was trying to play Cal and Stanford, one in San Fran and one in Pasadena.
I mean, at least the Rose Bowl was smart enough to understand that we can't put stuff on Christmas because it's going to interfere with the NBA, which I appreciate.
Sorry.
I also just appreciate that the Rose Bowl has always been like this.
Yeah, it's never changed. The entire New Year's is our day.
Even before there was a Rose Bowl tradition, they were still like this.
They're like, no.
Yeah, and also not the dumbest thing to happen in college football history for someone to try to play football games against Cal and Stanford.
True. Very true. Looking at you, ACC Army champion.
Fielding Yost should have just like given conference invites, right?
True. So he wanted to do this, and the Tournament of Roses folks said no, New Year's, and all he got to play was Stanford, and he beat them 49-0. That's great. The next fall, the Tournament of Roses officials tried in vain to schedule another game in 1903. Following in Michigan's footsteps, Wisconsin expressed interest in making the trip. However, no suitable opponent could be found. Again, Cal turned down overtures for the game. Stanford was not interested in a repeat trip after getting their ass beat 49-0 a year earlier. For a time in early December, a Wisconsin-Utah State game appeared set.
Wow.
Though it was met with skepticism, given that the Badgers were 6-3, were viewed as far superior to the 0-4 Utah State Aggies.
Oh my god. I'm just imagining the Rose Bowl being like, somebody has to play. Could we call
the quote from the paper here?
Yeah.
Oh.
I like that they didn't have a problem getting the team from out east to come in. Like they couldn't find a college football team anywhere near them.
No. Yeah, like Wisconsin's like, hey, we're coming from Madison on the train, 3 or 4 days on the train. We're coming. But you need to find like a Western team to play. And no, go ahead, Pitt Girl, read the line.
I will read the line. Quote, if the scores of the season are any criterion, the Mormon team will have about the same chance of stopping the onslaughts of the Husky Badgers as a go-kart would of putting a locomotive out of business.
What I'm hearing is Kent State to the Rose Bowl, and I'm here and in favor for it.
I like also that Utah State is described here as the Mormon team, as though they are BYU.
Listen, everyone in Utah is apparently a Mormon, says the newspaper.
Yeah, I think like
If the newspaper
1903
says it, it's true.
stereotypes. I feel like they probably would just like, yep.
So the funny thing is, when I looked at the 1902 Utah State team, it actually shows their record as 0-5-1.
Oh.
They tied Salt Lake High School.
Hey.
They lost to Fort Douglas.
Okay.
They lost to the Utah National Guard. They lost to Colorado Agricultural, who was Colorado State. They lost to Fort Douglas again. And then they lost at Utah.
Come on, guys. Best 2 out of 3.
Man, Fort Douglas should have been in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
So yeah, they beat them twice. But the thing that's funny for me is if this would have happened, this would have been Utah State's like best bowl game ever in their history. They would have been in the 1903 Rose Bowl. The next bowl game that they ever went to, if they would have went to this one in 1903, would have been the 1946 Raisin Bowl. Head coached by Dick Romney.
God, the things that we could have had. Imagine that is your worst season of all time. We were winless and went to and lost the Rose Bowl.
Yeah. We were 0-5-1 and we got to go to the Rose Bowl.
And the one was against high school.
Yes, a 0-0 tie against a high school.
Should have put the high school in the Rose Bowl.
I mean,
Yeah, anyway.
Salt Lake High School. There's no link. I can't tell you what this.
We can never, if we can ever find that box score, we'll go read it off on another podcast.
So that year, Cal was 8-0,
Mm.
and they didn't want to play. Arizona was 5-0.
So there were options, but the Rose Bowl did not pursue them.
Yeah, Montana State also was 4-0-1. That didn't happen. So Stanford was 6-1 also. So it's like Utah itself was 5-2-1. Nobody did it. I love it's like Tempe normal. I'm like, that's Arizona State. They were known as the Owls.
Mm.
Oh, we lost another D1 owl.
We lost an owl. Arizona State Owls.
But we gained a Sun Devil.
We did. Yeah, there's too much sun in Tempe. There's no night owls.
It's true.
Well,
350 days of sunshine a year.
that's
Too
Tucson.
many for
It's
owls.
Tucson.
Oh, shit.
310.
Yeah.
They're going to get mad at us. Okay. So the efforts proved fruitless. Wisconsin-Utah State was not viewed as a suitable attraction, and the Tournament of Roses accepted defeat and moved on from football. We've played all our cards, and we will have to give up the New Year's Day football game, said President Charles Coleman in 1902, December 1902. We hope to have a good polo game instead.
Yep, those are the same.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the interest in a Tournament of Roses football game faded over the next few years. After football's safety crisis of 1905, many Western teams, including Stanford, gave up the sport of rugby for much of the next decade. So I have pictures here. But moving on from polo, basically 1903, they're like, polo's not going to fly here. After a few years of polo, there was a play in 1904, and it was suddenly brought to new light in this Broadway play. So thought the Rose Committee. What's good for New York and Antioch might just be good for Southern California. So why not a chariot race?
Sure, I guess.
Sure.
That's how it came to be on New Year's Day, 1904. Two men donned togas and headbands, fixed their chariots behind two teams of 4 horses each, and with a nod to history, set out before all their neighbors to decide the championship of the first annual Tournament of Roses chariot race.
Wow.
4 horses seems like a lot for a chariot race.
A lot, right?
The pictures are intense. It's like a still out of Ben-Hur.
Yeah. It's like 4 wide horses, like, and then there's a chariot behind. It's not like two, and then the chariot. It's just like 4 wide horse, like just.
Which means if you're driving the chariot, you can't see anything. Like your field of vision is entirely horse butt.
Yeah, why are they hitched like they're pulling a plow?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know that they like 4 is just. I mean, it's a lot. 4 horsepower, right?
Yes.
I mean,
So many horsepower.
Yes, 4. Why not more? 4 horsepower.
I don't know. They couldn't do the thing that you see with like Santa's sled, where they're like 2x2.
Nope.
So you get 4 that way, like 4 across the front. Yeah.
So I found this article from Sports Illustrated that was written in 1968 about this. And they talk about one of the racers in the first chariot race. One of the racers that day was a member of the tournament committee. His name was Ed Off.
Okay.
Yes.
I assume he has a mortal enemy, Ed On.
Yeah, that's right. He's a novice horseman who was destined to be remembered as Chariot Racing's Man of La Mancha.
Please don't run your horses into a windmill. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don Quixote, the chariot racer.
You can't tilt up the windmill without a horse.
True. That is true. I'm just imagining like a chariot, the chariot running straight towards the windmill. And then the whole chariot, like it's caught in the
Chariot jousting.
If you were drinking, it's not DUI in Pennsylvania, but I digress.
The horse can drive. The horse is sober. It's fine.
They got to bring chariot racing back, like at the Rose Bowl.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, I got some info on chariot racing at the end here. I got some.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
Because like now the Rose Bowl, like the whole bowl game, right? Like we lost like where they eat all the beef, and like we're losing all the traditions. Like they should bring, because they don't actually need the teams there to race chariots. And hey, maybe if they start doing chariot races at the Rose Bowl, then the Lakers or Clippers can get Nikola Jokic.
Oh, attracted to the horses. I like that.
I'll take
Good
any
plan.
chance I have of Cosmo the Cougar attempting to drive a chariot.
So, the other racer in this first chariot race was a thin man with a modest mustache and an honest-to-goodness Bat Masterson cane with a gold knob.
Okay.
He had
Wow.
been around. I don't even know this reference. This is from 1968. He had been around horses all his life. His name was Mac Wiggins, the second son of a Big Valley sort of family that was more or less typical of the hardworking, hard-drinking, hard-playing people who lived around Pasadena. I don't think of those people around Pasadena the same way now.
But Pasadena used to be a party town.
Could have
Bat
been.
Masterson was a lawman in Dodge City in the ye olden times.
Mm.
The protocol of American chariot racing at the turn of the century called for competitors to circle the track at least once to the tune of a drum roll, finally moving side by side as they passed the starting line.
Okay.
Once the race began, it was every man for himself. Sometimes the chariots locked wheels Ben-Hur style as they battled around the track.
Hell yeah.
Bring out the knife wheels.
In one race, a horse died when the tongue of a chariot broke and plunged through his chest.
What?
Oh, no.
They drove him just like the Romans used to, recalls Mac Wiggins.
How do you know, Edwin? You weren't there.
Mac Wiggins' nephew, Edwin. It's like, how do you know? They drove him like the Romans used to. Yeah.
Edwin, time traveler from ancient Rome.
Edwin, Time Lord.
I mean, they didn't even have the Gladiator movie yet.
No, they didn't even have it. All they had was
They
Ben-Hur.
didn't even have Ben-Hur yet.
Yeah.
No, they didn't.
Yeah. I don't even. I mean, was Utah 0-4 Utah State that bad?
Yeah, we had to murder a horse.
We got to murder
They
a
were
horse.
so bad we had to murder a horse.
We had to, so bad we had to watch horse murder.
Yeah. How bad was your team? Horse murder.
Horse murder was a more palatable alternative.
Well, I mean, we were worried that football was becoming too much of a blood sport, so we decided to replace it with an actual blood sport.
Yes.
Murdered a horse on live television before there was television.
And Thomas Edison didn't even have to do anything.
Imagine like now if they had to come up with something to replace football. Like
And they
imagine the
murdered a
Tournament
horse.
of Roses in like 2026. They can't do the football game. They're like, we're gonna do esports or something.
They're going to do Boston Dynamics dog racing.
Battle
You
box.
get to watch like the horrifying robot dogs run around for a
Okay.
while.
Can you
Oh.
imagine like Tournament of Roses MMA?
No, they'd have to have polo back for a year and then do something else.
Tournament of Roses MMA, and you have to be covered in flowers.
Well, the other thing is that they also have to stop it after the third round so everybody can appreciate the sunset, and then you go back to punching each other in the head.
It's very important.
Mm-hmm.
Would Don Flamenco make an appearance from the Mike Tyson Punch-Out video game? Though y'all two, like Arthur and like Pitt Girl, is like, who the hell is Don Flamenco? And Beth,
Yeah,
was like,
I'm
"This
too.
is
I am too
hilarious."
young for this reference.
Yeah, it was a boxer in the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out video game that danced around with a rose in his mouth, and you had to punch him.
Okay.
Yes. This is like a super Punch-Out one. Oh my god, this is like way too advanced.
I was always
need this-
partial to Soda Popinski, but
Yes. But this is Don Flamenco. I'm going to throw this in here for you.
perfect.
And then there's an updated Don Flamenco where he's
Oh.
he's way too sexy.
Oh,
is the updated Don Flamenco.
oh yes,
Whoa.
that is yes.
Too sexy.
So many pixels.
Don Flamenco.
That is yes, that is too many pixels.
But I must, Don Flamenco. But yeah, he would do like the bullfighter dance in the ring, and he was annoying, but you had to get the combo to knock him out. So, but yes. So by the time Mac Wiggins and Ed Off started their Rose Festival circling at Old Tournament Park, the crowd had swelled to an estimated 6,500, more than 3 times the number that had watched polo the year before. Everybody bet, said Edwin Wiggins. And remember, $1 meant a lot in those days. Those who backed Off went home broke, showing the form and skill he had developed in lesser races at San Bernardino and El Monte. Wiggins charged home an easy winner to become the first Rose Bowl Chariot champion.
Hooray!
Yay!
So the next year, Ed Off is back again. However, the race was delayed.
Back and ready to kill more horses.
That's right. The race was delayed, however, in 1905. There were gopher holes on the track that had to be filled.
Imagining 1905 Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Cinderella story. Filling gopher holes on the tournament park track. Came race time. Ed Off took an early lead over hotel man D.M. Leonard, but he soon lost control of his team and had to hang on for dear life. When his rampaging horses were finally brought under control, Off staggered out of his chariot and reeled up to take a bow before the first Rose Queen, Hallie Woods. Just then, his rubbery legs gave way and Off fell flat on his face before Her Majesty.
It's just a really deep bow. He was so overwhelmed by the Rose Queen.
He swooned.
He swooned. He was like, oh, he caught the vapors.
Your Majesty.
I do declare, Miss Rose Queen. Undaunted, the redoubtable Off was still back at it for another year.
Let's go.
Let's go, Ed Off. That's right. This time,
More like Ed on.
That's right. This time, he again lost control of his team, which continued unchecked after passing the finish line. Off was unceremoniously dumped when one horse fell, upsetting the chariot. Unfortunately, he incurred injuries serious enough to force his retirement from a sport for which he had never shown any great aptitude.
Oh no, Ed.
Ed off the pasture. He's done. Ed turned out like Utah State, 0-4.
I just love, like, I'm thinking it now when you talk about like losing control of your team. I'm imagining various football coaches that have been accused of losing control of their teams, chariot racing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lack of institutional horse control.
Okay. So I just wanted to continue with Ed Off's story because, look, man, Ed, you probably should have, like, he just kept coming back for more, and then he was like, he got too hurt, he couldn't do it anymore. So interest waned to such a degree in 1913. In a revival effort, the tournament committee added an ostrich race and a race between a camel and an elephant to the show, but it didn't help. The death of the competition was assured in 1915 when the ill-starred Ed Off made the mistake of declaring it immortal.
Oh, classic mistake.
And it says, and Ed Off, like, quoted, it said, "Pasadena is now recognized home of chariot racing," said Ed in his kiss of death. The sport, as pretensed here, appeals strongly to the crowds. That year, the Tournament of Roses sponsored its last chariot race.
Ed made the crucial mistake, the critical mistake of endorsing the program. When you do the vote of confidence, we all know it's doomed.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I love how, like, Ed Off started this, had to retire, and then basically he killed it by just, like, talking about it.
I mean, I don't think he's the one that killed it. I think
yeah, but, like,
maybe he jinxed it, but
Ed off the announcer's curse.
Yeah.
So
I mean, hey, maybe he did. Maybe because he kept losing control of his team. They were like, okay, we can't do this anymore.
can't
all
do
the
this anymore.
all the teams are being lost control of.
That's right.
His problem was that he was basically horse Utah State.
1903 Utah State.
Mhm.
1902. Sorry.
Commish, can we talk about some of the pictures that you have posted in here?
Oh yeah.
Specifically, I want to talk about the one right below the one of the horses that are arranged 4 wide in front of chariots,
Mm-hmm.
of the woman be in a cart that
Mhm.
says LA Ostrich Farm in flowers,
Mm-hmm.
being towed by an ostrich and sitting on the cart wearing like a fluffy hat that seems to have like a feather boa that descends down from it with what appears to be a Samoyed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She is living the life. I want to grow up to be her.
Mm-hmm.
I want to wear a ridiculous hat and
Mhm.
have a giant fluffy dog and be towed around in what amounts to a pony cart by an ostrich.
That's
The
correct.
ostrich in question is wearing what looks like little poofy socks almost.
It's like the socks that you put on a toddler.
Yeah. And it also has a bridle. And there's
Yes.
little poofy balls on the bridle by the neck of the ostrich. And listener, it looks like you would think it would. Imagine a bird, now put a horse bridle on it. And that's really what we're looking at this point. It is a tremendous image.
The ostrich looks like weirdly pleased to be towing.
Mhm.
Like the ostrich looks like it's having a good time.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, like the Samiad looks like it's having a good time.
Mhm.
Let's be very clear here. If there was a picture of me that existed like this, I would make it my life's mission to destroy every other possible image of me. So this is the only thing that is left. And whoever comes after me has to extrapolate my entire life based on this image.
I feel like that's what we have to do. I don't even know who this is. There was like no
We must
heading
find
on who
her.
this was. Yeah, we must find the ostrich Tournament of Roses ostrich lady from the LA Ostrich Farm.
God, it's incredible.
Yeah. So this is basically when the ostriches started coming in. I have more about the ostrich races here, and Ed all.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
I
it's
have
great.
another question about a photo that you showed here.
Okay.
I would like to move down 2 photos, please.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Oh, what are they doing to the ostrich?
Well, let's read the caption, which says,
Yes.
Cotston attendants remove feathers from a male ostrich in 1911. There is someone who is holding the ostrich in a way that honestly looks like assault, and someone else appears to be grabbing at the ostrich's butt. The ostrich in question has a sock over its head.
And there's an audience for this.
Yes,
It really does look like they're assaulting the ostrich.
it really does.
We gotta post that in the chat. We gotta do it.
I have questions.
A lot of questions here.
And the fact of the matter is, no one who's standing around, and there are quite a few people standing around, looks in any way shocked. It's like, yep, this is a Tuesday. Another
This is an
Tuesday.
important part of ostrich care and maintenance.
Okay. So I have a couple of different clips that I have from here after like the story here. I have clips from the newspaper after the ostrich races were introduced. I have it from the South Pasadena Record, January 3rd, 1913. It just says, there's a subheading that says, The Ostrich Race.
Sure.
After all South Pasadena held the top liner on the program at Tournament Park, when the ostrich race was announced, 2 big Nubian birds
Nubian birds.
That's right, were mounted by their keepers of the Costin Ostrich Farm. As you noticed, the one above, right, was the Costin Ostrich Farm, removing feathers from the male ostrich. And at once began to do funny stunts not on the program.
Hopefully involving kicking the crap out of the dude who decided to defeather their butts.
The ostrich ridden by Melville Bush, one of the Costin Farm guides, started off at the beginning all right, but the companion bird bucked Edward Eyre, the other guide, at the start of the race. Immediately pandemonium reigned in the racetrack. And as the huge ostrich ran around the enclosure, he was chased by policemen with upraised clubs and men on horseback, excited women and children.
That's a good old-fashioned mob right there.
Oh, very good. The next sentence here
Yes.
is a really good one.
Yes. The pursuers...
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. You can read it.
As the pursuers approached within catching reach, the big ostrich struck out with his feet and showed so many signs of fight that the pursuers fell back, glad to escape with their lives.
Get their asses.
Yes. In the meantime, Sandy, the other big Nubian bird, began to give trouble, and while the first bucking ostrich was being corralled and adjoining enclosure, Bush's beast of burden got away, and another hot pursuit was started. The audience was in a continuous uproar, and the antics of the other animals were watched with growing interest. And animals is in scare quotes there.
Mm-hmm.
Ostrich riot! Come on down to the Rose Bowl Ostrich riot.
I just can't even like there's more like ostrich race stuff, but like that's just the best part. The ostrich riot. I just
the race between the elephant and the camel.
Yeah.
Diogenes the elephant and Pharaoh the camel.
Yeah.
They had names.
Yes. And it's like this year's pageant is destined to eclipse those of all other years. The people of Pasadena regard their tournament roses in the same light as do the residents of New Orleans their Mardi Gras. We need an ostrich float in Mardi Gras now.
The Rose Bowl needs a special cake.
I feel like after this, there should be a hidden ostrich in the Rose Bowl parade every single year. Everyone
in the logo.
Yeah.
In the logo. There needs to be like the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
Still maintains the number. The Rose logo needs to have like an ostrich head.
Yeah, hide the
in
ostrich
there somewhere.
in the negative space. Absolutely.
Yes, got to do that. I don't know how we can do that. Send that to Jordan. Hey, Jordan.
I love the idea of like they had a steeplechase as part of this.
Yes,
and the sense is simply the steeplechase, while more or less a failure as a race, certainly furnished excitement enough while it lasted.
I love like the steeplechase. Yes, the subheading for that: goes it riderless.
Oh, and this, to be clear, this is horse steeplechase, not ostrich steeplechase.
No, like nothing. Nobody can stay on their animals in this thing.
I love that. A failure of a race but furnished excitement. I can think of multiple motorsports races I've watched as a fan that are absolutely in that category.
Yeah, shout out to the time that the track just came up at Martinsville. That was a good time.
There's another line in this thing. It says, Bush was thrown from his mount in front of the judges' stand, and in attempting to capture the runaway bird, was kicked 20 feet across the race course.
Oh, that is very far.
For the ensuing 15 or 20 minutes, the ostrich gave decidedly interesting exhibition of the Queensberry art, having as many as 5 men on the ground at one time in the concerted attempt of bystanders to catch him.
So wait a second. We had 5 people trying to take down one guy, and we had something, and we kicked a dude 20 yards. This is a football game.
It is.
They punted a guy.
The ostrich punting is winning for the ostrich.
Yeah. And apparently the ostrich team had a lot of success in the run game.
This is another one where the next sentence is also very good.
It's so good, all of them.
The ostrich finally became peeved and took the aggressive, causing hundreds of spectators who had volunteered their services to climb fences in the immediate vicinity of the track.
The ostrich...
Oh no, we have angered
apparently, yeah, it was apparently not peeved when it punted someone 20 yards.
No.
I'm angry.
He wouldn't like it when the ostrich is angry. I can't even. I can barely like...
Aside from bruises and sadly disarranged clothing, the would-be captors of the runaway bird were not injured.
Good for them.
Yeah. braver souls than I.
Yeah, I guess I should reconsider my whole therapy ostrich thing.
Ostriches are really good examples. Like there's a Commish put a picture in here of ostrich racing from Anaheim, and like just looking at the way that their legs are while they're walking, I don't know why it took us so long as a species to figure out that birds are descended from dinosaurs. Cause like, look at those dinosaur ass legs.
Mm-hmm.
This is some dinosaur ass locomotion.
It is. I mean, kicking people 20 feet too.
It's giving Jurassic Park.
All right. One final note here. After the chariot races were done, football came back. We discussed the Washington State beating Brown in 1916. With the nation's attention riveted on Pasadena, football and the Tournament of Roses formed a union that has endured to this day. Meanwhile, the center of chariot racing gravitated north to Pocatello, Idaho, where the World Series of Chariot Racing is still held every year. And this is in 1968, by the way. Last March, 104 two-horse chariot teams competed in 4 divisions, and about 5,000 of the city's 42,000 population attended. Of course, times have changed. An average chariot today might be made from a 50-gallon oil drum and Honda tires. Whatever the material, it's still chariot racing, and you know somewhere that the Wiggins brothers and Ed Off are smiling and nodding approvingly. That's 68, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ogden, Utah, home of Utah State,
Hey!
is now the world center of chariot racing. So retired it all. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. Ogden is I think Ogden is Weber State. I'm sorry. It's close.
Yeah, that's Weber State.
Yeah.
I have
Logan
also.
I always get those confused. I don't know why I get Ogden and Logan confused.
The way I remember it is that Ogden starts with an O, and that's one of the reasons Damian Lillard wears number 0.
Okay.
Is because his first 3 places, because he was from Oakland,
Yes.
played his college ball in Ogden, and then played in
Blazers.
Oregon. That's why he wears the letter 0 or the number 0, because it's a letter O.
Commish, I am immensely pleased to inform you that after a hasty Google, I have also learned that World Chariot Racing so we have All-American Cutter / Chariot Racing in Afton, Wyoming, or World Chariot Racing in Rigby, Idaho. So there is also still chariot racing in Idaho.
Oh my God. There are.
We're gonna have to go to that.
I think we do have to go to that.
The last I saw was like Golden Spike Event Center in Ogden, Utah. The ACR Chariot Races. I love how this like basically like Utah State. Logan's maybe about an hour or so from Ogden, not too far away in that section, a little bit north of Salt Lake, where Weber State is, which is it's incredible. Like they didn't get the Rose Bowl in 1903, but they wound up getting chariot race in the area. Oh my God, it's so ridiculous. I wish I could find. I couldn't find names of the ostriches. I was looking for that because apparently the races were never finished. So like the winner was this. The race was abandoned because it was attacking people for 20 minutes.
I will take this moment to say, listener, if you are aware of any attempts in 2025 to conduct ostrich racing, we would like to know about it. Let us know.
Please.
We'll try and get credentialed.
It's wild to think about how back in the day, like, not only were people way cooler with wild animals places that they probably shouldn't be, but that was really cool. Like, we kind of take for granted, right, that like we can see a tiger, like a tiger at a truck stop, or just like, oh yeah, we got a tiger. Like, it's less cool because it's like, yeah, we've seen tigers, like they're at the zoo, like we know it's not a big deal. But man, like for someone back in this time period, just any sort of exotic animal, like
It's just hanging
Who
out.
cares? Like, it's
Mhm.
super cool that this person has this in a trailer that they've brought to town. You know,
This dude came in from out of town. He's got an ostrich.
yeah, you got to see the ostrich.
Gotta see
Can we
the
pet
ostrich.
it? I don't know. I've never seen an ostrich before.
Yeah. He says he knows how to use it. I guess we'll find out.